So it doesn't have to be a computer, you know. You don't need a computer to make good files. You just need to be organized and complete and clear. And I mean, smaller producers, you know, it's very nice to come and have everything ready in a binder or a box. You just sit, you make sure it's all very clear and ready to go. Larger producers, you might want to look into electronic records. Even smaller producers, if you're comfortable with that sort of thing. And you will still need, I'm not saying everything's electronic, you still have to keep receipts and paper, and there needs to be a paper trail as well, but you can really simplify things by using the electronic records. So we can't talk about everything, but we thought Rowena and I would go over some examples of different kinds of records that you might need to be keeping. And I'm sorry if this is a bit basic for some people, but I wanted to start with field maps. What's missing from this map?
Direction.
Yeah. Roads. Yeah. Scale. Measurements and scale. What's that?
Sewage system?
Sewage system, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Buffer zones. So this is, I mean, I've never seen a map like this, but you know, you do see some things that do vary. Straight lines, you know, maybe the field is that wavy, but you know, more likely you just didn't use a ruler. And you don't have to have a perfect map. A lot of people though, and I think this is Rowena's property, but it can be a good thing for scale if you have an aerial photo to work from that.
So drawn maps or?
Yeah, I mean, I think an aerial map's okay to have in there. The trouble with aerial maps is getting detail on them.
Yeah, I could see, like with this, I would imagine, you know, you would submit something else that's like the quarter-acre mixed vegetables.
Yeah.
You'd want another map, really.
So I think, yeah, I was told the other day they wouldn't accept just aerial maps.
Okay, well that's good to
So
know.
just
But it makes it a whole lot easier when you have north-south, some idea of scale, and neighboring land activities. Who's your neighbors? Where's your buffer zones? And there you can see the roadway, but maybe an idea of where the drainage is. Things like that are very important when you're on the site. If you can't, as somebody coming off just straight, you know, coming with an application, if you don't know where you are in the property, it's not a good map. Like, you need to have some good landmarks. All it is she's just put her plan for rows. You don't need to do this, but you might want to have in that area like a half-acre mixed vegetables, divide it up, what's where, you know, so we can walk around and have a look at where you're growing. So we want it to be to scale. We want it to be readable and clear, because there's a chance it's going to be photocopied or faxed a few times. Put your orientation on it. Field numbers. These should correspond to the numbers in your organic plan. And if you're using lot numbers, obviously, you know, they should relate back to your fields. Buffers, neighboring land uses, important landmarks, roadways, water courses, and buildings. If there's a source of potential contamination, a conventional neighbor, something in the area that's problematic, put it on your map. It's going to make it a lot easier. So on to seeds. You should keep your, well, I'm under the impression you should keep both your seed packets and your seed receipts. I don't know, what do you guys, could be a lot of seed packets, I suppose.
Yeah, people do tend to keep them, but
Yeah.
the
It's hard to
reality
go
is that
through.
we don't look at every one.
No.
So it's a good idea to keep them. And
Yeah. I mean, ideally, you maybe would keep them in a box or bag somewhere, but then I really like, if you're buying from, you know, an online, or if you're getting a receipt with your order, put that in your binder. That's very easy to trace. Keep your tags for grain from year to year. It's going to say what's organic and what's not. Indication of your seed status. So, you know, you need to have the non-GMO verification. You need to make sure with your certifier what they accept. And it needs to be untreated, obviously, if you can't find organic. Seed search document where you have not purchased your seed. Your certifier may have something already that they use, they want you to use. So it's good to use those forms if they make sense for your operation. It makes it easier because it's very consistent then between operators. And another thing which I wasn't, you know, so familiar with is a record of seed saved from the previous year, which makes sense. You know, it's organic, it's your own. You have some idea of how much volume you're saving. So here's an example on the website of Johnny's Safe Seed Pledge, saying that they do not knowingly buy or sell GE seeds. This is also in their catalog. for some certifiers, this is enough. For other certifiers, I think you need to get a letter from the company. Anyone? No? Okay. But this will then give you an indication that they do not use GMO seeds. Most seed companies sign on to this. If they don't, you're going to have a bit of a trickier issue and you need to contact them directly. This is, again, Rowena. She's very good. She has a record here. All these companies she contacted for different vegetables, different cultivars. And so for her, she was checking the catalogs. She checked a whole pile, and she made choices there, you know, about which cultivars, where she could find organic, she bought organic. Where she couldn't, she showed that she looked. And again, it's not an option. Like, I think some people have been under the impression of it. And cultivar choice is a reason. If you've been using the same cultivar for 20 years, you know, but I mean, I have a producer who, you know, he was growing the same cultivar. He continues to buy it conventionally produced. He bought some organic carrot seeds to try them, you know. So he is showing good faith, like he's showing that he is making an effort. You need to show that you've documented your search. With grains, you need to have a record of, like either a faxed record, a signed document saying, no, we do not have any organic A, B, C, D. We've also submitted telephone records of calling different, you know, individual producers and looking for seed. So make sure you know what your certifier needs. But this is becoming a very, you know, and if you set it up, it's not going to take you that long year to year, especially if you're growing some of the same crops year to year.